Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia.
and I'm Meredith.
And this is It's About the Pasta, a Vanderpump Rules podcast. Season 4, episode 5. I kind of already feel like I've watched 20 episodes of this season, but I'm going to keep going because it fucking cracks me up. It fucking cracks me up. Also, I know it's coming, so it makes me like crack up even more. But before we go into it, check out the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have our Summer House one, Summer is Fun. And whenever Winter House comes out, we will be posting episodes on that one as well.
Well, it technically already would have happened.
Maybe not at this point.
That's true.
Fucking Winter House has been being promised since I feel like the beginning of 2021, and it's now 2022 when you're listening to this, but we're recording at the end of 2021, so I don't fucking know. Also join our Facebook group, same name as the podcast. Please rate, subscribe, and review. We have no new ones. That's because this is being released way in the future. Yes, I'm getting better. And join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. Oh no, what did I do? Hang on. Well, let's start with for $1 a month, you can get access to all of our pre-shows just to get to know Meredith and I a little more, extra stuff to listen to on your long walks or like when you're bored or your commutes if we're back in the office.
Yeah, we watch so many other shows, but we don't do full podcasts on them. Oh my God,
we didn't even talk about them.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, we kind of do. We talk about all the things that we're doing, whether that's other shows, our love for murder documentaries.
Yeah, we love murder.
Our dating lives.
Ugh, hate that.
Or lack thereof.
Love murder more than dating. And then you get any episodes that we record early. So such as this one, we are in the midst of 2021 still. You are listening to this in 2022. I'm assuming it's not a year later, but it's basically a year later. So that sucks for you. And then for $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus you get access to our after show, which is where Meredith and I do spoilers or any news that we saw or like whatever we want to talk about. And we say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Gina, Chris, Danae, Dustin, Tracy, Mariah, and Jackie.
Yay.
Our favorites. Okay, and then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, during live shows, we ask you for your opinions, and then we'll talk about them and read them on the podcast, and I'll probably respond on Patreon. But yeah, and we pick a patron of the episode. So this week, I'm going with someone who's very close to Meredith. He's like a father to her because he is her father. It's Chris.
Yeah,
hey,
Chris. Spent the whole day with me. I spent so much time with him yesterday.
Oh my God. Did he mention this podcast? Does he ever bring it up in real life?
He does. He loves to chat about our podcast.
I like when he fact checks you. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, actually, I should start posting those when he does in our Patreon.
Chris, we would love to have a segment where you just text Meredith all the corrections you have and I'll read them out loud and it'll be fucking hilarious to me.
He will do it at the dinner table.
If he could just write them down, yes. That'd be great because then we can list it because I thought it was hilarious.
It's a lot of stuff in the pre-show he'll tell me I'm wrong about.
FYI, that was my he's like, FYI, those tickets were expensive, Meredith. Checked. I think it's funny. But Chris, thank you so much for donating. It's so nice. My own parents don't even know what a Patreon is.
What a supportive podcast parent.
I know. Okay. I think that's it. I think we can get into the episode unless I'm missing something.
Nope. Cool. You're doing great.
Well, previously on Vanderpump Rules, Lisa is back at the job at SUR or on the job at SUR. Toms are trying to get a job with Vanderpump Sangria. Sheena and Shay are working on their relationship. James and Kristen are still fighting, and James is super into Lala, but he kind of insults her in front of the boys. And Jax is also flirting with Lala. because Lala's a hot bitch.
Yeah,
That's
she
why
is. Yes,
I
she
love
is.
her. Okay, so we open up at Sir. Lisa is doing menus. I wrote down napkins, but they were menus. And Sheena's bringing her some tea. And then Lisa asked Sheena about Shay. And Sheena says they're living happy and healthy. They're going to start eating healthy and going to the gym 5 times a week so Shay can lose 10 pounds because
I'm just flabbergasted that you are trying to sort out your husband's addiction and now we're focusing on him needing to lose weight.
Actually, if you lose weight, you automatically help your addiction. It's like,
yeah, it just goes away.
I'm just kidding.
When you shed the pounds, you shed the addiction.
I would like everyone to know that I don't eat healthy, but I do work out 5 times a week and I have not lost 10 pounds. So this could very well backfire for Sheena if Shay doesn't want to do it all. Yes. And then we find out Tom Sandoval is going to come over and teach Sheena how to cook a healthy breakfast. And you know, Lisa's like, it's great that you're going to eat some egg whites, but your husband has a very serious condition called addiction.
You're definitely avoiding the issue here. Like she's hyper focused on this healthy habits.
Maybe she thinks if he got him like addicted to something else, like example, my dad smoked cigarettes for most of my life, but he quit. And now he like is obsessed with riding bikes. Like he rides the indoor bike, the outdoor bike. He has to work out every day for like hours, which is like good, I guess. But the addiction isn't gone. He still like fucking craves nicotine constantly. He just like
tunneling it into something else.
Yeah. And he full on dedicates himself to this bicycle riding thing, which like, I don't think Sheena would also want.
I mean, I don't think this type of stuff will hurt him if you eat better and go to the gym. Like it's not going to hurt him. And it probably does give him something to like focus on, but you need to resolve the actual problem as well. And I think her trying to force him to lose weight and making that the goal is going to actually make things worse.
Because when he doesn't lose weight, he's going to get depressed and he's going to really want 10 to 15 Vicodins.
Yeah. I want 10 to 15 Vicodins just watching this.
So then Jax walks by with a case of wine that Lisa needs to check to make sure he's not stealing it. And so Lisa and Jax talk about the Sheena and Shay situation. Jax is full of great relationship advice. Mr. Relationship himself, to which Lisa asks, where's Brittany?
Yeah.
She's back in Kentucky. And Lisa's like, didn't you call her the one? And Jax says, well, if she moves, then she's the one. If she doesn't, then out of sight, out of mind.
He doesn't do long distance. Even like some places in LA are long distance to him.
Oh my God. He said the Valley. And I was like, oh my God.
This is concerning, Brittany. Run away.
I know. And then so Jax continues to insult Sheena and Shay's marriage by saying he has milk that has a longer shelf life than them.
And he says that Shay's probably doing pills because he's just miserable with Sheena, which I think is so sad.
But like kind of maybe true.
No, because he was doing them longer.
That's true.
I don't think she's not helping him.
She's not the reason.
Get off of them.
She's just not helping him. Yeah, she's not helping the situation.
She's enabling the behavior because he is kind of miserable.
Yeah, and Jax also says that Sheena has become Shay's mother more than she is his wife, which is very true. But Lisa tells Jax to keep his nose out of it. So we go to Lala and James talking. They're both a little rough because they were mixing last night, and we find out they went out together.
And they made out together.
James doesn't feel bad about it. Not one second.
He is so happy. He cannot stop smiling. He is just like living his best life. But there's that Kristen and the elephant in the room.
Lala is like in her interview, she's like, yeah, James and Kristen broke up yesterday. And then James in his interview is like, we haven't like completely broken up yet, but like we will.
It hasn't happened yet, but like it's fine.
Lala's never met Kristen either, but she's heard a lot, which I'm sure that's the tame version. So yeah, Lala though makes a good point. And what do you think on this? She says, because she believes that James and Kristen broke up like that day before she made out with him. And she says there's no like 2-month, 2-week rule, like 2-day rule. If you break up 5 minutes, you're fair game.
I agree. Especially, I think that's true. Especially because Lala doesn't know Kristen. I think the only reason rules I'm going to say are in place typically is because you're friends with those people or you know them.
Especially if like, some dude was like, I broke up with her today. I'd be like, swag.
Okay. What are you up to? I mean, I wouldn't want to date someone who just got out of a relationship because I don't think it.
But you could make out.
Is healthy. Yeah. But I don't think there's something wrong with that. That's your own personal choice.
Yeah. 100%. So, like 10 minutes later, Kristen fucking shows up.
Oh my God.
We can't write stuff like this. It's too funny. So then she walks into Sir, which I was like, she better get arrested because she's banned from this place.
Yeah, but she makes it quick.
She finds Lala.
Doesn't know it's Lala.
Doesn't know it's Lala. Just
finds like the hostess who is Lala.
And she's like, hey, can you tell James that I'm out back? Peace sign. Do it. Yes. And so Lala goes to tell James. Lala's shook. She's like, holy shit.
Kristen's here.
Oh my God. And so James is so annoyed. He's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. All we're gonna do is fight. But he asked Peter for some time in the back, which Peter immediately knows what that means. And he's like, take care of it, get rid of it. I do not care. So now we're in the back of Sir, where James and Kristen awkwardly sit. James immediately just out of nowhere is like, hey, Kristen, I think you fucked someed else. And I was like,
he's like, I don't trust you. I think you fucked someone when you were in Detroit. And she's like, no, I didn't. And he's like, your phone was off. So you fucked a guy.
Here's what happened. She went to Detroit for a modeling shoot. She was out drinking 2 nights in a row until 5 a.m. and her phone died. And she woke up and turned on her phone or whatever with a bunch of like James text messages. So James is like, why does that happen twice if you're not cheating on me? And Kristen's like, well, I was partying. I think they're both fucking psychotic.
I agree.
How do you listen, Kristen, I get it. But like my phone doesn't die anymore. Like I can help it.
Once I can understand.
2 nights in a row. Bring your charger.
Suspicious.
Also, how do you function without your phone? How do you get lifts and stuff?
And like Kristen said, if she wanted to cheat on James, she would leave her phone on, which I don't believe that. Ooh. Because if James is blowing up your phone, I would turn it off, even if I didn't cheat on him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Or I'd like do not disturb his ass or block him or something. Yeah, 100%.
Which but this is like 2015 or something. I don't think do not disturb was a thing.
That's true. They all had like Blackberries. Yeah, just turn your phone off.
They have iPhones, but
they all had Blackberries.
I do love
they all had their T-Mobile sidekicks. So this is when, again, James is so rude, but he cracks me up. So James is like going off on her and Kristen's like, you're not going to raise your voice at me. And James goes, I'm not going to call you names either, even though I probably should. And I was like,
I know. He starts to get a little heated and Kristen's like, you're not going to yell at me. He's like, I'm not yelling. And then he's like, I'm not going to call you a name, even though, you deserve it.
I should.
5 seconds later, calls her a bitch.
I also want to know. So when Kristen, sorry, I just got to this part in my notes. When Kristen says she wouldn't turn her phone off if she was cheating on James, was her phone off when she watched the movie Drive?
But she wasn't. No, there's no way because Tom was in the other room.
That's true. He wasn't blowing up her phone.
I don't think the phone makes a difference. I think the only reason she would have turned off the phone is not because she was cheating
get away
on
from James.
It was because he was annoying her and she cheated on him.
Yeah. Okay, well, so they're still fighting about Kristen possibly fucking someone else. And then James goes into how she probably fucked an ugly person because she's never going to get this young, good-looking James Kennedy ever again.
I do appreciate how into himself he really is. Like, you get the full I love myself moment from James right now.
Exactly. And James nicely ends this segment with He can't wait for her to stalk him like all of her other exes.
He has some
He's
good
good.
zingers.
He's good. He's always on his game. So then inside Sir, Lala goes up to Sandoval and Jax and is like, Kristen's here in the back with James. She's freaking out. And the boys are like, why do you care if Kristen's here? And then Lala's like, oh, because we had drinks and made out yesterday. And both Jax and Sandoval were like, oh.
They were like,
mostly.
You're in trouble.
Jax is jealous, I think. And
yes,
I think Tom Sandoval is worried for Lala's life.
I think, yeah, Jax is like, what? You chose him, basically. And I think Tom Sandoval is like, you're about to get punched by Kristen.
Change your identity now. So this is when they explain there's a difference between girls who get crazy and crazy girls.
and then like 10 years above that is Kristen.
Jax is afraid of her. Tom is afraid of her. And this is where Jax goes, Kristen knows where you live, knows where your family lives. Be careful. And I was like, yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
So back to the Backesser. James and Kristen are still arguing. James goes, guess how upset I am that I'm done. And I thought he was going to say, I made out with someone last night, but he didn't.
No.
Instead, he was just like, I have a date tomorrow, darling.
Yeah, he won't miss her, he says, which I'm happy he's finally here. I needed him to get here like last season. Like, I won't miss you. I'm done.
Yeah, Kristen kind of feels bad that her past has hurt James, but he's like really rude to her. So it's like fine.
He only uses it against her, which that is difficult. That's not fair because he wasn't a part of that.
And he knew going into it. It's not like things kept popping up. It was on a literal TV show.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kristen now says very calmly that James is sabotaging his own life. And Kristen's like, or James is like, no, I'm a DJ actually. You're the only person sabotaging.
You show up and you're sabotaging it for me.
So yeah, Kristen tries to leave. James follows her to continue arguing and then tells Kristen to have a nice life.
And Kristen in her, in her interview is like, I love him so much. And he's my best friend. I was like, you just literally said this about Tom. You just said Tom was your best friend and you were in love with him. So
literally 7 days ago, it feels like you were dating James when Tom was still your best friend.
Yes. So crazy Kristen back in action.
I just love that. Her. Listen, if someone yelled at me like this, I don't care if we've been dating 10 minutes, 10 years. I'm pissed right after.
I think the only reason I'm laughing.
The only reason I'm crying is because like I physically am so mad that I don't.
Yeah, you like have so many emotions running through you that like you cry because of it.
I'm pissed though. Like there's no way I'm gonna sit here and be like, I love him. He's my best friend. You're not my best friend if you say this shit to me.
No.
So now we're back in Sir. And James goes back to the DJ booth, unfazed. I was phased by this.
It helps that Kristen can't come in.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. Could you imagine? My gosh. So now we're at Sheena and Shay's apartment. They wake up together. So Shay is now here to stay. Sheena had asked Sandoval to come over and teach her how to make dinner. And somehow that turned into breakfast. So they both have to wake up early and wait for Sandoval and Ariana to show up with a bunch of groceries.
I think this is hilarious because Sheena has said that she's a good cook, but she cooks unhealthy things. And
I appreciate that.
She's like great with eggs, but she doesn't want to eat just egg whites. And I get this, but this isn't that complicated to make healthy food.
It's not complicated to make an omelet. Okay.
No.
Spoiler, that's what they eat. It's really not that complicated to make an omelet. Like I'm not a good cook.
No.
But I could make an omelet if someone
But you would make eggs with like vegetables mixed in. Like you can make you don't have to make an omelet.
I understand why she was like, can you help me make dinner? Because dinner is a little more complicated. Yeah. Breakfast, 90% of the world doesn't eat breakfast as is, me being one of them. And like 2, eggs are the fucking easiest thing. Now, if you're going to teach me some fancy ass French toast, sure. But
or like some hollandaise sauce, like eggs Benedict.
yeah,
I'm in.
teach me how to perfect crepes or whatever. Why are we doing fucking omelets,
crepes.
sir? So yeah, Sandoval and Ariana show up. Shay is Sandoval's buddy. Sandoval is here to help, and he wants to be like Shay's Rocky trainer. See him at the top of the steps.
See,
victorious.
This is the enthusiasm I need from Sheena about her husband. Like, I want to make you better. What can I do? Like, I'm going to help you through this.
And Ariana knows this is great for Tom because he's secretly a homemaker, which it's not a secret.
No,
I'm sorry. This man, I could have pinpointed
this
him
is
in season
a high
1.
key thing. This is not a low key thing.
Yeah, this man loves to cook, clean, make everything
dress
happy.
himself.
He loves to do his hair.
Interior decorate, I bet.
Listen, if he was like a 1950s stay-at-home mother and wife, he would have fucking nailed it. This man's perfect.
And we find out not only is he just like Susie homemaker, but he used to cook eggs and omelets for famous people. That's how he has these skills.
Oh my God, that was fucking amazing. Who knew? He's lived like 7 lives.
Yeah, he was like a catering person, he said.
Yeah.
So
an
weird.
On-site catering service.
Yeah.
So Sandoval and Ariana walk in. They're like, healthy foods. We're going to make healthy breakfast. And Shay tells him that he woke up in the middle of the night and before he went to bed ate 3 Otter Pops, which is like the sugary ice.
Yes, I love it. And they're like, no, sugar, that's the devil.
Sugar's Ariana dead ass, like the most serious I've ever seen her is like, sugar's the fucking devil. And I was like, shut up, Ariana. I get it, but also
I'm like, there's a pint of ice cream that's calling my name after this.
Yeah. In this moment, I relate to Shay more 100%. Than I ever have in my entire life. I love him. So then Sandoval makes them the organic omelet with organic broccoli and organic juice. Is
the green juice.
Is broccoli a morning food? Like I guess don't it want is now. Broccoli in the morning.
I've never thought about it, but I really like broccoli. I'll eat it in the morning.
It's just you know how some foods hit you different in the morning?
Yeah.
Broccoli, I feel like to me, it has to be at least 11 for me. Like down some broccoli.
Or like put a few of the little like shavings, the like leaf part of the tree in your omelet if you're gonna do that.
I don't know why we had a big chunk, like a whole fucking plate of broccoli.
The best was when they're eating it and Shay goes, you have more cheese than me. I was like,
Sheena's like eating the cheese. Yeah, poor Shay. Listen, I get it. I feel for Shay at this point in time. He is me. I love to eat bad things for me. They taste so good.
We're the same way where it's like, we're going to eat whatever we want to eat. And then we're going to walk to work it off.
Yeah. We're very good at like walking, exercising. We each put in like at least 30 minutes a day. Usually we have Apple Watches. We usually always meet all 3 goals, but in that time, do we eat a lot of junk?
All day.
Probably. Do we drink a lot of alcohol?
I'm on a rampage right now. I need to get Tom Sandoval to come make me some breakfast.
I need Ariana to just like every time I get up to the kitchen, hear her voice going, sugar's the fucking devil. And maybe like, oh.
You have a like thing when you open the fridge and it just like tells you it.
I just see her face right there with the recording that's like, sugar's the fucking devil. And I'm like, oh, sad. That would make me more sad than anything because
agreed.
Sugar. It's fine. We can like sugar. We've both already walked today. Well, did you?
No, I haven't.
I walked 3 miles today, so fuck everyone. I'm gonna eat cheese after this. Okay. So now we're back at Sir. Schwartz is here, and he asked Jax to make him a mojito, which makes me happy because bartenders hate mojitos.
I know. He's like, I want you to muddle something for me.
That's me. I love muddled drinks, but I never order them because I know bartenders hate it.
Yeah.
So then Lisa's here. And she's like, hey, Schwartz, why are you sitting here drinking and not practicing your sangria pitch? And we get Tom Schwartz's great sangria pitch that I love. It's just like he takes a sip of Jax's drink and goes, oh, give me some Vanderpump sangria.
Beautiful.
Done.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
That's the St. Louis plan.
Yeah, people in St. Louis will tell, oh, Bud Light, give me a Vanderpump sangria.
I can see it now.
So Lisa tells Jax that a sommelier is coming tomorrow, but Jax can't be here for it because Peter is getting a haircut. And this is important because Peter's cutting off the ponytail. Okay, it didn't sound important.
I'm
It's
sorry,
important.
I told Peter I would go get a haircut with him. And Lisa's like, what?
I'm sorry, what? Yeah. So Peter has this new girlfriend who probably hates the ponytail because I feel that. So Peter is getting it cut off.
Time to let it go.
And then Jax, just because he loves to stir some shit, he asked
the
Lisa.
Employment police.
He asked Lisa about the employee fraternization rule, which Jax has broken at least 12 times, probably.
Yes.
We've only seen 6, maybe.
You know what? We're turning a new leaf. He's going to be a rule follower for today.
He is the hall monitor.
Yes.
That sucks. And Lisa's like, oh, are you just bitter about James and Lala? Like, she already knows.
I love it.
And she supports it. She's like, whatever, stay out of their business, basically.
Yep.
And yeah, Jax is jealous of James.
Yeah. I mean, he's got Brittany, but he just wants to bang Lala once. That's the goal.
He doesn't want to date Lala. He tells Schwartz that very clear. Which again, if I'm Lala watching this, oh, fuck you, Jax.
If I'm Brittany, I'm major.
Yeah. Also, fuck you double hard. No.
Lala's not gonna fuck you. Is the whole point.
No. Okay, so now we're at the Red Lion, which I thought was going to be more important, but really it's just Kristen out to eat with Rachel after she's been crying about James, and she's going to order a whole bottle of wine.
Oh my God, this is great. Like when she orders that bottle, Rachel's like, isn't it
it's
like
noon.
10 a.m.?
Yeah, it's like not appropriate. And she's like, Kristen goes, also, I haven't eaten anything. And Rachel's like, grand. I can't wait.
Man, emotional, hasn't eaten, drinking early. Sounds like the perfect storm.
I love how wherever they go, they just get a bottle of wine. Like the Red Lion probably has some dope ass stuff on tap. And she's like, bottle of Sauvignon Blanc, please.
Please. Yeah.
Okay, so Kristen vents about James, and he feels like James wants to be Jax, but James is just a douche. And I was like, oh, but Jax isn't a douche, right? Okay.
Everything she's saying, I'm like,
she sounds like
Jax she's good in this. She
sounds like she's into Jax after this. She's like, Jax is great. James is a piece of shit. And I'm like, they're literally cut from the same cloth.
Same person, just a few years younger.
One is more attractive and has a British accent than the other. Someone figure out which means.
And hasn't slept with his best friend's girlfriend yet.
Yeah. The other one has 17 noses and has cheated on 90% of his girlfriends. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So Kristen hates James's ego. James has told Kristen that Lala is a whore and a slut in the past. So Kristen double doesn't understand why James is with her now.
But she does know that James had to have asked Lala out before they broke up, since he told her at the breakup. Also,
Kristen saw Jax last night after the James fiasco as Kristen's crying. Before we get into it, the way it's cut is so fucking funny because we see Jax telling Kristen and then we see Jax telling everyone else
that he told Kristen.
Yeah. So he tells Kristen that James and Lala made out. So basically Kristen's crying and Jax is like, why are you sad about Lala though? All they did was make out. And Kristen's like, what? So then Jax goes to tell Sandoval, Ariana, and Katie what just happened. And he's like, all I said was they just made out because I'm trying to be helpful. He's like, I'm trying to be helpful. They just made out. And Ariana and Katie are like, why don't you just shut your mouth? And
why didn't you just avoid? He was like, she's crying. So I felt like I had to talk to her. And they go, no, you just go, and walk away.
I thought she already knew. No, you dingus. You ever tell any of your exes
just found
cheat
out
on them?
Yeah.
Come on. Oh, I'm just trying to help.
You are the king of hiding cheating. Would you ever just walk up to your girlfriend and tell her you cheated on her? No.
I'm just a big dummy who tries to help. That's like his whole vibe. And I can't. He's so stupid. Okay, so also he just got Lala and James killed. So
yeah, he just literally gave Kristen a machine gun, basically.
Yes. It's very upsetting. So now we're at a little break from everything. We're at Peter's haircut. Sandoval and Jax are here for support. Peter has had this ponytail since 2010. It is probably what, 2015, 2014?
That's
2015.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the teens.
It's time to get rid of it.
It is long.
Peter does want to donate it, so he needs 8 inches.
I used to do this. I feel it.
Insert dick joke about 8 inches. And so Peter just wants to look more professional, so that's why he's getting it cut. So as he's getting it cut, he asks about what happens with James and Kristen, because
he
James
knows.
had asked Peter permission.
He knows something happened outside.
So Jax knows that James cheated on Kristen. So Sheena, Jax, and Katie are all going to get drinks tomorrow with Kristen. And they invited James and Lala, but they didn't obviously tell each party that the other is coming. And both Tom and Peter are like, what the fuck?
What the fuck are you doing, Jax?
What the fuck? And Jax is like, no matter how crazy Kristen is, I have a soft spot for her. We know it's called your dick.
Yeah.
So then Tom is like, I will not be joining. And Peter's like, I will also not be joining. I'd rather get my ponytail cut off again, honestly, as traumatic as this is. And Katie and Sheena have words for Lala. So
yeah, it's
I was like, what words? This girl literally just walked into her one day and like into a shit pile.
I know, but the girls take this stuff so personally. What's funny is this is the same type of shit that Stassi was giving Sheena. It's basically like, you're going to steal my man. And now Sheena's doing it to Lala.
I have that literally in the next thing. We'll talk about it at nails, because I have so many thoughts, like when they get their nails done, so many thoughts. But Peter makes a good point that inviting Lala is like bringing a catfish to a shark pen. And Jax gives us another great point that this is not enclosed. We're at a club, so they can walk away.
Okay. You tell me how that goes.
And Tom Sandoval lost 17 brain cells listening to that, and now is 4 IQ points.
Let's remember what happened when Tom Sandoval just walked away when Miami Girls showed up. How everybody was like, that makes you guilty. You can't just walk away.
But Peter looks fucking fly.
He does look good. So
hell yeah, my boy is back in business as the hottest dude at Sir. Okay, so now we're at nails. Katie, Ariana, and Sheena all dressed up in like their fanciest dresses to get their nails done. I do not understand. I look like shit 90% of the time, especially when I'm getting my nails done. So Sheena tells them how Kristen has been blowing up her phone all about Lala. And this is when Ariana's like, yeah, but it's like not Lala's fault. And Sheena's like, yeah, but if James said they broke up, it's only been a day. So like, I need to stick up for Kristen, and I don't want to be friends with Lala. And this is
not Lala's responsibility to figure out when James broke up with her and if he's actually being truthful.
This is when I was like, hey, Sheena, didn't you date a famous person that you could have Googled and literally had an affair with a married man for years?
And knew, like you said, she knew he was married, had kids, everything.
She knew he was previously married and had kids. Yeah. But like, what? Lala's going to Google James Kennedy at this time and find out who he's dating?
Well, he knew that. No, but she knew James was dating Kristen. Yeah. But that night he told Lala that they broke up.
Yeah. So
she did her due diligence, in my opinion.
Literally, Lala's in a better position than you were in. Like, why are we mad? So,
but they were basically in the same position. Like,
yes, 1,000%.
Let's stop acting like Sheena's better than her.
What is it you always say? Kettle, meat pot.
Yeah.
So Katie and Ariana ask about Shay. Sheena is just so happy and we're ignoring and we're happy and
he's gonna make me the happiest. He knows to make me the happiest person ever. There's gonna be problems.
We are so happy. We're eating our.
This is the pressure he doesn't need. Is the pressure to make sure he loses 10 pounds so you're happy, and the pressure to make you happy.
Yeah. Like, to me, Sheena doesn't understand that like relapses happen and like they
Yeah.
struggle with addiction.
Or that it's not about her. She needs to be supportive of him. It's not about what she wants right now.
She's happy, like they were during the wedding. Happy Sheena. And Katie's like, big issues are about to smack her in her motherfucking face. She's got to pull it together. But Sheena says that Shay knows how serious it is. He could lose her if he takes one more pill. She's going to file for divorce, to which when you're an addict, you don't see those things. You're mentally, it's a mental illness. You don't see what you can lose. You just see the 5 minutes in front of you of getting that addiction.
And like to give him like such a hardcore ultimatum means that he can never screw up. And if he does screw up, he's going to lie again. That's what you don't want. You want to build trust and to get him to a place where he can be honest with you without fear of like his whole world falling apart.
Relapses are real. I think Dax Shepard was sober for like 20 something years and recently in COVID had a relapse.
Yeah.
Like it could happen anytime. And it's about how you build after that and how you like come to realize I have a problem. I need to retry.
It's like minimizing the bad parts and trying to, like you said, build back.
Yeah. So this can only get worse.
Sheena's delusional.
I like don't want to see the fallout for this because I'm like kind of scared.
It's getting worse. Like Sheena's digging herself a hole where like she was a victim in this, but like it makes me hate her.
Yeah, she's not being a good like support system through thick and thin. Like we're not doing that through thick and thin shit, and I'm sad about it.
Yeah, me too.
But now to spice my mood up a little bit, we got to eat with James and Lala, and let me tell you, they're kind of cute together.
I like this. They're both like nervous and giggling, and James is being James.
Listen, James has his quick little like tidbits.
Zingers. Yeah.
Lala can hold her own. It's like kind of fun. Yeah, Lala was nervous. Can't remember the last time she was on a date. She usually does steak, but she's liking the string bean.
I
couldn't see. She's like funny. Like
I love
funny.
How
James is funny.
She says that James is so not her type.
Yeah, but she's into him. They're gonna make a track together. Cheers to making music and babies. And James almost spat his drink out.
And she's like, but it was a joke.
See, but like she's funny. Like James can take it. James can give
she's
it.
Like, don't get too excited there.
So Lala brings up Kristen and James is like, yeah, it's officially over. But Jax did tell Kristen about us, so you might die.
Yeah.
And
Lala's like, awesome. She can come to my house. And James says no. But she's definitely going to confront Lala. Let's be honest.
Like, why did he say no? Because she totally would show up at Lala's house.
Yes.
What do you mean no? But we're over talking about Kristen. But in the interview, Lala does let us know that Kristen cannot come at Lala. She cannot steamroll Lala over. I think Kristen has met her fucking match. Lala's not crazy. You know the difference between girls that are crazy and girls that can be crazy, or crazy girls and girls act crazy?
Yeah.
Lala can act crazy. She'll pull it out.
Oh yeah, I think everyone can.
If she's got a crazy bitch coming at her, she'll come back.
But Kristen's just fucking crazy.
She's just like mentally unstable, that girl. I don't know. Okay, so now we're at Sir. Jen sighting, Jen Bush,
and Christina Kelly.
And Christina Kelly, our two favorites.
Yeah,
but they just sat training. In the back. They sat in the back and said nothing the whole time. But we did get to look at them. So we meet Laz, the sommelier, and he is here to educate the servers because a great meal is complemented with the right type of wine. I suck at this. Me personally, Alicia Snace cannot pair anything.
I know some things like seafood is supposed to be with like a white wine, or steak is supposed to have a red wine. I know some things.
If
a burger, a beer.
A beer. Hey, I'm at Sir and I got this really nice burger. What should I get to drink with it? Bud Light.
Bud Light.
On the house. Enjoy. No, if Lisa was literally like, oh, I'm getting the steak, what wine would I get? I'd literally
but this is she said what full body red, and Faith was like,
I don't know.
I like I forget what she said, But
Pinot Noir
Lisa was
or
like,
something
that's
that.
not a full body. Full body
What is
red.
a full body red?
I don't know.
Okay, cool. I suck. I should never.
I
be
can
in
just
this
tell you, I
relationship
know certain things are supposed to be drank with like a certain type of something.
of something.
Like specific wines, I do know.
I did know steak and red, and I did know seafood white.
Yeah.
But that's it. And if you're gonna burger, don't get wine, I guess. That's like,
And like
why would you get-
pasta, it's
White?
difficult because you're supposed to start with white wine and go to red wine.
Yeah, so like salads and pastas, right? You start the appetizers is white, and then you get the main meal, and it's probably a red.
Yeah.
Meat is very red. I do know
Yes.
that, like a meat. Anyway, Katie does a good job. I think it's like a lobster dish, and she's like a whiter champagne,
Love
which
it.
like makes sense. Okay, but then everyone takes the food afterward because we're over it. And
We're poor and we got to eat.
Sheena stays back to talk to Lisa. And this is one of the first time there's been free goat cheese balls and she didn't take one. Fuck you. I would have taken both and never looked back.
But you know what? At least Sheena is sticking to it as much as she's probably forcing Shay to stick with it.
Can you imagine, like, what is Shay doing right now? Probably eating a whole bag of marshmallows behind Sheena's back.
Love
eating
it.
7 Otter Pounds.
Thrilled for him. He has like a separate trash. He takes the trash directly to the trash can, does not leave it in the house.
Can you imagine if someone forced us to like eat healthy? Anytime we weren't around, we'd be like, yeah, no thanks.
It's difficult.
So, especially a goat. Listen, I know goat cheese balls are fried, but like worse things can be eaten than goat cheese on a salad.
I love goat cheese.
I love goat cheese. So, Sheena and Shay did go to the gym together, so his addiction is cured.
So we're cleared.
They're working on things. Shay isn't working right now because he's focused on working on their marriage. And I thought, man, if there's a way to push me to pills, it's to tell me I'm not working right now. I'm working on my marriage.
My goal is, yeah.
That's miserable.
Lisa tells her she needs to get a little tougher with him. You know, don't make excuses for him. He can hold a job. You're holding a job.
Mm-hmm. I think that would honestly help him because he can't really go into work.
It would give him authority of his own life.
It would give him something to do. He would start making money. He'd probably get goals.
If he said, I don't want to work right now, I want to focus on me, that's different. But it's fine. Yeah. It's Sheena always making those calls.
Yeah, which is not right. Okay, so now we are getting drinks. So Sheena, Jax, and Katie show up first. Sheena's options were stay home and watch TV with her husband or come here. So she's going to do that.
But Shay can't come because there's lots of alcohol. So he's thrilled to be watching TV at home alone. I'm sure just the alone part is the best part.
This man is straight up eating so much junk food when Sheena's gone. Also, sugar's I know sugar's not a good addiction, but a lot of addicts turn to sugar. And I know, again, that's not great, but it's better than pills. So
healthier than pills.
Some fucking sugar, man. Come on. Also, if you restrict something, it just makes them want it more.
That's the thing.
I eat so much chocolate a day. So Faith then shows up, and then Lala and James, and everyone asks Lala and James what's happening, and they're just having fun. And Sheena immediately goes in on Lala about Kristen, and they're still together. And Lala said all they did was make out, A, and B, they broke up. And that's what she was told. So fuck yeah. She
so what's the problem here?
And then she says, Lala says it's nothing serious. And if James and Kristen decide to get back together tomorrow, then that's that.
She'll be good.
She's not invested.
Mm-hmm.
So Jax is here. So while Sheena is getting out of her sugar-free home, Jax is here to watch the demise of James, which
is not hard.
Is nicely followed by Kristen walking into the club.
Well, Jax does say that it's even better to, James embarrasses himself all the time.
Yeah, it's great.
But watching Sheena do it for James is even better.
Hilarious. So, Kristen walks in and I'm fucking with Lala. Lala's like, I didn't think anyone here liked her. And I was like, yeah, Katie and Kristen Katie and Kristen aren't friends. Remember when Kristen slept with Jax and that whole thing blew up and Katie wasn't friends with Kristen?
The only thing I can say here is that Jax is friendly with Kristen and Sheena is friends with Kristen.
Yeah, but I was with, like, honestly, if I was Katie, I'd probably be like, I'm here for the drama. But Kristen immediately goes up to Katie and is like, hey, how are, honestly, if I was Katie, I'd be like, hey.
But whenever they were getting their nails done, Katie said that Kristen was texting her too about
I know, which I
blowing up her
also
phone.
didn't get.
Yeah.
Also didn't get it.
I think Kristen thinks like she can find an ally in Katie because this is
They're
kind of
just
all
friends.
fucked up.
Her and Katie are friends now because they
I
have
guess
mutual
so.
friends, and Stassi's gone. So they're
Yep.
friends. So this is where James is really rough. He immediately starts going in on Kristen.
God.
But Lala's the one that actually tells him to stop.
And like have
cut
some
it out,
respect for her.
Be classy. And then James and Kristen go outside. Or Jax and Kristen go outside, and James is like, do we think those two are going to go hook up? And everyone's like, shut up.
This
honestly.
is where you can really see James's insecurity about Jax and Kristen.
Yeah. So Lala, this is where she sees that James is very invested still in Kristen. So Lala's really over the whole James thing. And she feels like a woman. She needs to go talk to Kristen, which I think is great.
I love this.
This is the definition of a girl's girl. This is it. I would do this. I'd be like, let me talk to you. You seem to have an issue.
Yes. Why are we making this all drama? I'm gonna just confront this head on.
I'm gonna just do it. So Lala walks over just as Kristen is telling Jax that James was just a rebound, which made me laugh because 2 days ago she was fucking sobbing her eyes out. And so Lala approaches and she introduces herself, and Kristen basically says that Lala made out with James while they were still together. And Lala says, James told me that you guys broke up, to make it like very clear she did not know. And this is when Kristen then tells Lala that James has called her a slut and a whore and all these things. And Lala knows that James has been texting her for a while. So he had a crush on Lala, but was covering up with Kristen, saying horrible things.
Yeah.
So that it didn't seem like it was anything.
Now
so
you got two girls pissed off at you.
Lala has pinpointed this whole friend group in 2 weeks. She doesn't even need fucking time.
Well, because she doesn't need to play this like fake game with them. She sees everything for what it truly is.
So James shows up, and both Kristen and Lala are basically like, well,
wait, the best is he goes, I'm just going to sit right in between you two. I was like, I would want to get far away from these two as possible.
Oh my God. I was like, this dude has a lot of balls. And yeah, so basically the girls are like, well, we're on the same page. We're going to go inside together.
Yep.
Goodbye. And James is left outside in the club by himself. So then he walks back into the club to just cause more drama. And James is trying to talk to Lala, and Lala's basically like, you need to stop. I'm over this. So James calls Lala a basic bitch because she's listening to Kristen. And now Sheena's mad that James called Lala a bitch. So now she's sticking up for Lala.
Lala's annoyed.
Lala's annoyed she was called basic. She doesn't care about the bitch part. She's annoyed at basic.
No, I'm not basic. And Kristen is literally loving this.
Sipping her drink. I do want to, Sheena, my girl, you're so good. And then you fuck up quick. She's like, Sheena has this great quote. She's like, you don't speak to women like that. They're so disrespectful and demeaning. Like, I'm so not a feminist, but still. And I was like, oh, like even Lala's face was like, ooh.
It's like, just, you don't need to say that.
I was like, you are being a feminist by sticking up, but whatever, have a good one.
But like, why does it have to be about that? Why can't you just say we don't talk to people like this? You don't even if you're not a feminist, that's fine. Just don't mention it within your big moment because you're actually detracting from it now.
Listen, Meredith, I don't care if you insult girls 90% of the time because I'm not a feminist, but
this
not
one,
not
I'm not doing it. Yeah.
Right. I was like, okay. So yeah, Jax loves Kristen and the drama she brings when she's not after him. So this is fantastic.
It is pretty good to be on the sidelines of this tonight.
And that's how it ends. And next week we get Gay Pride. Jax breaks a whole bottle, it looks like. The boys do a workout class with Shay, and Shay does not do well. James had 7 hours of sex last night and Lala's annoyed with him.
Yeah.
7 hours seems like a huge exaggeration.
That is a lot of time and energy.
That's just like a lot of effort. Is no one tired after a few hours?
How do you want to spend 7 hours with just a person, let alone
Meredith,
7 hours having sex with them?
That's like how long we spent working today.
Oh my God.
Your face was like, oh, that's too long. Yeah.
That is a full-time job.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of exercise for me. Did they stop and have lunch?
Did you sleep?
I'm hungry. I'm Shay. I need more cheese to function.
Give me 3 popsicles, please.
Okay, but I think overall this was a pretty good episode.
Yes. I'm so happy Kristen and James are done.
Thank God. If they get back together, I'm gonna die. That's it. I said it. So let's do accepted and blocked. I know both of mine. For once, I am prepared for either one. Which one do you want me to start with?
Whatever your heart desires.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the blocked first, and I'm gonna block James.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
He's a lot. Are you blocking him too?
Yes.
Okay. He's just a lot. He really fucked himself. He lied to Lala, put her in a bad position, cheated on Kristen, then accused Kristen of cheating on him, yelling at her in the back of Sir, though funny, very rough to watch, and then started yelling at Lala at this club.
Because the thing, it's the way he talks to Kristen and Lala that doesn't do it for me. I am so proud of Kristen in the back of Sir when she was like, you're not going to yell at me. Like, you're not raising your voice. Like, she was practicing some probably things she learned in therapy. And I'm really proud of her for that. Because James is very disrespectful. Like, he takes it to another level. I'm not saying Kristen doesn't add to things and like stir shit up too, but it's
a lot. Yeah. But yeah, I don't even think we need to explain ourselves too much because we talked about it the whole time.
Yep.
But I'm going to accept Lala.
Ooh.
I think this girl is a bad bitch, right? She does things on her own terms, but she's respectful about it. This dude told her that him and his girlfriend broke up. So she's going to make out with him a little bit, but all she did was make out and she's not ashamed by it. She got taken on a date. She's getting a little flirty. She might drop a track with James Kennedy. Don't know about now, but in the episode. Then she shows up at this thing. She is blindsided by Kristen showing up, handles herself with dignity and grace, is a total girl's girl, confronts Kristen about the issue. So there is no issue. And she looks fantastic. And she was fucking hot in that jumpsuit she was wearing. So I see no issues.
Well, to give it a little mix up and not choose all the same people, I'm going with Lisa. She's being such a support system, but still keeping Sheena in check about all these Shay issues and not letting this stuff get like whirlwind happiness all around moments. She's putting Schwartz in his place to make sure he's working on his damn sangria presentation. She's putting Jax in his place where he needs it, and she's teaching her servers how to suggest and give diners a better experience. I
loved it. It was a good episode.
It was.
I'm excited for Gay Pride. Gay Pride's always good.
Too. Always my favorite episode of the season.
I am so excited. But yeah. So this has been fun. Be sure check out our Patreon, our Instagram. What else do they need to check out?
Rate, review, subscribe.
Yeah, do all those things. And we will talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.